Good morning, kids. I hope you all are safe and sound. Last week we started a new chapter, that is lesson number 2, health and diseases. We discussed about the things that can keep us healthy and fit. We discussed about the 3 things that keep us healthy. Number 1, balanced diet. A balanced diet should contain proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, carbohydrate, water and roughage. It is very important to have all the above nutrients in our daily diet. Next comes exercise. Exercise keeps our body strong and increases our immunity. Next, rest. Proper rest is important too, because if we don't rest, we will not feel fresh and recharged. So, have you ever thought what will happen if the above 3 things are not done properly? If we don't do the above 3 things properly, we will start feeling sick, we'll start feeling uncomfortable, and ultimately we will suffer from a disease. Disease, the word everyone knows about this, like everyone has heard about this. But do you know what it means? It means that our body is not at ease. What does it mean by ease? Ease means our body is not at ease, means we are not comfortable. We don't feel comfortable. That's why we suffer. When we suffer from a disease, we don't feel comfortable. Like if you're having a running nose, you don't feel comfortable. If you have a headache, you don't feel comfortable. So a disease simply means when our body is not at ease, our body is not comfortable. Or a disease is a particular abnormal condition, a disorder of a structure or function that affects a part or the whole functioning of the body. So anything peculiar happens to your body, like you're having a headache, you're just feeling like vomiting, you have a stomach ache, anything, it is a part of a disease. Any peculiar thing happening in your body, anything that happens that is not normal is a symptom of a disease. Now diseases are of 2 types, communicable and non-communicable. So now communicable diseases are those diseases that passes from one infected person to another through touch. Like if suppose I am having a disease, if I just go and hug you or I just shake hands with you, so you will also suffer from the same disease. Okay, example is like common cold, chicken pox, etc. Medium of transmission. How does the communicable disease transmit from one organism to another? How do it transfer? Okay, so now it transfers through direct contact, like chicken pox, cold. Like look at the picture over here, a person is sneezing but still he is shaking the hand. So at the end of the day, what happens? Both are going to suffer from the same disease. Then through air, as you must have heard, everyone says that if you are sneezing, properly cover your nose with a handkerchief, then sneeze, because the viruses actually travel a long distance and can infect a person, whoever is in that range. Okay, then we also get infected by viruses through water and food. Example is polio and cholera. So it is very essential that you drink purified water and you always cover your containers, food containers. It should be properly covered. Not a single insect should sit on it. Okay. Next, through insects. Just look at the culprit over here. It's a big mosquito, and a stop sign is put over there. Yes or no? Because mosquito is a person, sorry, not a person. Mosquito is an insect that actually transmits a lot of diseases like malaria, dengue, chikungunya, etc., etc. So it is very essential that right now that you should start preventing yourself from any mosquito that is nearby you by just putting your mosquito net, or by using those incense sticks, or by cleaning your surroundings. That is the most important thing. Okay. So now this is about communicable disease. But have you thought, like, these communicable diseases, how do they, like, what is the, like, you got the idea how do they spread, yes or no? But do you get the idea what are these things? What are these spreaders? Who are the involving party? Who are the actually culprits? Okay, so the actual culprits are those microorganisms which we cannot see through naked eyes, or The above diseases are called by microorganisms or microbes. There are 4 types of microbes that cause communicable diseases. Example, first one is bacteria. It causes cholera, typhoid, etc. Look at the picture, they look so cute, right? But they are very dangerous. Okay. Bacteria comes in different shapes like spiral, then cocciform. Okay. So now, virus. Next comes the virus. The virus looks very colorful in the picture. Yes or no? And they're very, very, very strong. Like they're very harmful. Okay. The tiniest living organisms, and they live inside a living host and multiply in number. Where outside, if you find a virus, it is very inactive, but when it finds a living host, it becomes active and starts multiplying itself, and slowly it multiplies into the whole body of an organism, and they start creating a disease. Example is influenza, measles, etc. Okay. Next comes your protozoa. So now protozoa are single-celled organisms generally found in water and cause malaria, dengue, etc. Look at the picture, it's a protozoa. Next comes fungi. These are the plants that do not have chlorophyll. As you know, fungi, you must have seen fungi in your house. It's mushroom, yes or no? Mushroom is not green in color. They don't have chlorophyll in them, and they cannot make their own food. They depend upon other organisms for their food. Similarly, some microorganic fungi are responsible for causing ringworm and food poisoning. So when you are going to have any food poisoning, so just think that it is because of a fungi. Okay. So now, as by now we have completed what is a communicable disease. Okay. So now we are going to next shift towards non-communicable diseases. The diseases that are not passed from one person to another are called as non-communicable diseases, and they are not caused because of germs. Okay. Non-communicable diseases are not caused because of germs. Okay. Example is high blood pressure. So suppose a person is having high blood pressure. If you touch him, will you have it? No. If a person is going to have a heart attack, if you touch him, will you have it? No. That's why these two diseases are actually non-communicable diseases. There are many. Okay. So now, among the non-communicable diseases, we also have deficiency diseases. As we have discussed in last class, we have a lot of nutrients that are very good for our body, but if any of the one nutrient like proteins, vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, fats, water, roughage, if any one of those things are missing, then we suffer from deficiency disease. The disease is caused due to lack of nutrients and can be treated by taking proper diet rich in the particular nutrient is called as a deficiency disease. I guess you must have seen in your book that you are having a very big chart signifying different diseases. Just look into that chart. We are going to discuss about it right now. So now look at the first picture. It's marasmus. It is a protein and carbohydrate deficiency disease. The symptoms means what are the signs or the signs of a disease. Okay. So what are the signs of the disease are dry skin, retarded mental and physical growth, diarrhea and digestive problem. Okay. And how can we prevent it? By eating potato, wheat, soybeans, eggs, sugar, fish, nuts and meat. Marasmus can be prevented by eating protein and carbohydrate rich food. Okay. Next comes your kwashiorkor. Okay. It is a deficiency disease for proteins. That's why it is always instructed to eat a lot amount of pulses, dal, urad dal, these things, moong dal. You have to eat all these kinds of things. Okay. It is very good for your health. What are the symptoms? Enlarged stomach, edema, irritability and enlarged liver. Your liver becomes big. Okay. And stunted growth. You don't grow a lot. Okay. And it can be stopped by eating pulses, eggs, potato, sugar, milk, porridge. Next comes your night blindness. Just look at the boy. He cannot see at night. Night blindness means a person cannot see clearly at night. It is because of vitamin A deficiency. Okay. It's a biot spot. In the eye you can see a spot is there, it's called as biot spot, and they cannot see in the dim light. Okay, it can be cured by eating carrot, papaya, green leaf vegetables and mangoes. Okay, I know mangoes are not available for the entire year, but you can just switch to carrots. You can get it all around the year. Yes or no? So now next comes your beriberi, that is vitamin B deficiency. Okay, it creates disorder of nerves and weight loss. In the last chapter you must have learnt about what are nerves, yes or no? So because of beriberi there is a disorder of nerves and there is weight loss. It can be treated by eating cereals, rice and wheat, milk, meat, fish, eggs, nuts, green leaf vegetables. Okay, next comes your scurvy. When you have swollen bleeding gums, that is what is scurvy. It is caused because of vitamin C deficiency. Swollen and bleeding gums, fatigue, you feel tired, yes or no? It can be solved by eating citrus fruits, which means lemon, orange. These fruits are called citrus fruits, and green leafy vegetables, cabbage and amla. Next we come to rickets. Rickets is caused due to the deficiency of vitamin D. Okay, soft and deformed bones. The bones of the legs are normally not in a proper shape. Okay, and the chest is like a pigeon chest. Now it can be cured by consuming milk, fish, meat, cod liver oil, butter and eggs. Now next comes your anemia. Okay, anemia is caused due to iron deficiency. Okay, so now what happens in this time is less hemoglobin count. You know what is hemoglobin, right? The red color pigment in the blood is because of hemoglobin. Okay, so now and you become tired because of that. And how can you prevent that? By eating apple and spinach. Okay, next comes your goitre. Goitre is the enlargement. You can see the picture over here. Something is swelling in the portion of the neck, because over there a gland is a thyroid gland is there. Because of low amount of iodine, the gland swells up. Okay, so over you can see the swelling of the neck, and it can be reduced by eating iodized salt or seafood. Okay, now by now you have understood what happens, because what is a disease, what is a communicable disease, modes of transmission of disease, and what is non-communicable and deficiency disease. But it is more essential to know that how can these things be stopped or prevented. So first of all, stop the breeding of insects by covering garbage bins, avoid stagnation of water and keeping the surroundings clean. It is very, very essential, yes or no? Next, maintaining good hygienic conditions. In case of communicable disease, the infected person should stay away from a healthy person. Food and water should always be covered. Vaccination to be provided to kids and old people, as vaccines help our body to fight against certain diseases. Yes or no? So, these things should be followed to maintain a good life. Okay, because prevention is better than cure. You have to start preventing yourself from gaining any kind of a disease. Yes or no? Because once you get infected, your immunity gets disturbed, you feel weak, you don't feel comfortable. Yes or no? So it is better that we should stop a disease before it affects your body. By this we finish the chapter. I hope you have understood. If any doubts are there, you can just WhatsApp me. Bye bye.